it's time to talk about Xbox because they've been in a very interesting situation over the course of the last couple days. They had the Xbox Game Showcase, which overwhelmingly the internet completely loved. I mean, it had games like Forza and Starfield and a bunch of new games that were popping up. Fable was in there. Personally, I wasn't super wowed by it, but I'm actually very thankful that Xbox fans love the Xbox Showcase. It's for them, you know? But in court, there's been a very messy battle that's been going on that suddenly just got a lot worse. Microsoft is trying to buy Activision Blizzard for $70 billion. They announced these intentions over a year ago now, and it's just been one long, conceited, giant, messy investigation. Lots of dirty secrets and dealings and stuff all being dug through because in order to buy something that's $70 billion, it needs approval. You can't just walk up with a briefcase full of cash and 16 different hookers named Tina. You actually need to get different governments to look into it and make sure you're not creating a monopoly. Because let's face it, $70 billion is a lot to invest. The fact that they're going to get access to Diablo 4, which I love so much, Call of Duty, I mean, those games coming to Game Pass, that's going to be a nuclear freaking win for Xbox Game Pass. But let's talk about this new case because it's starting to sound like possibly Xbox is ready to walk away. What's up, gamers? DreamcastGuy here. Hi, hope you're having a great day. If you could like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. So we're actually over here on Twitter taking a look at some messages by Derek Strickland. He also wrote an article version of this, but to be honest, it's very full of legal jargon. The tweets are a little bit easier to understand, but essentially, Microsoft is considering abandoning the Activision merger simply because it sounds like it's just going to be taking so many years, they're starting to lose hope. But going back to Twitter here, he says this: in a recent court filing, Microsoft's lawyers have outlined a years-long process that would ensure that if this district of courts grant the FTC's preliminary injunction request, it sounds like this is going to be going on for a very long time to come. The FTC, which is the Federal Trade Commission, this is the American government that essentially makes sure that everybody's playing fair. They've blocked deals in the past that felt like they were being predatory to consumers. One cell phone company trying to buy another cell phone company. A lot of times they step in and go, no. They really don't like the Activision Blizzard deal. In general, it just seems like the FTC is incredibly suspicious as to what the long-term goals of Xbox are. Are they going to make Call of Duty exclusive? Are they going to double the cost of the Xbox? I mean, ridiculous stuff like that has been pitched in court. Personally, I actually think that they are going to keep things third party. I think that Microsoft just wants to put these games on Game Pass because even that would sell a lot of consoles and get a lot of subscriptions. But here we go. The FTC is seeking a preliminary injunction order that would prohibit Microsoft from merging with Activision until after its internal administrative lawsuit is completed. This won't happen until December 2023, well after the merger's July 18th termination date. It sounds like initially Microsoft and Activision wanted to have this completely done when they first talked about it by next month. Now, obviously, they've been in talks to do this merger for probably years at this point, and I don't think they actually expected the investigation portion of this merger to take so long. So originally they said, all right, we'll have this done by July of 2023, or we're going to give up. Well, now we're at June 2023, and the clock is ticking. The completion of the admin case is just the beginning, though. So essentially, administration is trying to do a bunch of internal investigations to see what's really going on inside of Activision. But this FTC law allows commissioners to ignore the administrative law judge's recommendation and put merger approval up to an internal vote. That is a 13-month period between the original administrative law judge's recommendation and the FTC vote. That means this deal is getting pushed back to at least like 2025. I mean, at the very least, it sounds like this won't be done for years and years and years. Now, Microsoft is not happy about this. If Microsoft and Activision didn't walk away from this deal by December of 2024, the FTC also has the option to just block it, to just stop the merger entirely. Now, you may be wondering, what does this mean? What does the FTC actually have the power to do? I mean, this is two companies trying to negotiate a big payday, right? What does this do? Essentially, they can legally stop them from selling games in the United States. So if the FTC blocks it, the deal isn't getting finished. I mean, straight up, even if you are living in the UK or in Brazil or something like that, if the FTC stops this deal from happening, it's just not going to happen. It's too big of a market to completely abandon. And at this point, still nobody's been spent. They still have their $70 billion. It's not like Activision has it and has to give it back. Microsoft is probably going to acquire something else if and when this deal dies. Now, here's the thing. These parties could then appeal the decision, but this would take even longer. So if it does get blocked, that's going to be another year of court cases on top. The thing to remember here is that the video game industry is rapidly evolving. Both Activision and Microsoft are major disruptors in the gaming space because of projects like Warzone and Game Pass, for instance. Both companies would have to continue their full operations while the merger is hanging in limbo. This sounds incredibly tough. Think about the fact that you don't know how many developers you're going to have next month. You don't know how many games are actually being made. You don't know how much profit you're going to have if this merger is very slowly and meticulously still taking place. We have the indicators that Microsoft may be planning another major disruption at some point very soon because it sounds like they're making a streaming console. The rumor is that it's going to be called something like Xbox Series Y. And it's going to be a system that essentially makes it where instead of having a $500 console, you'll get like a $100 console that just streams Xbox Cloud games directly to your TV. That would be a big disruptor to play next-gen games, even if they're crappy streaming versions of it, for $100. That's pretty dang ridiculously cheap. Activision, on the other hand, is continuing to execute on its 4-year plan that they outlined back in 2018, which is essentially full games, live service games, new engagement models, and mobile ports. Now, here's the specific thing here. It really sounds like they're definitely starting to give up, at least internally. So let me take a look at this specific court document here. So this guy was like, I hear you, but there's no indication they will fully abandon it if the injunction is granted. Microsoft is arguing the importance of the injunction to the process and why it's needed before the full hearing. They're trying to maximize the chance that it gets closed before the agreement expiration date. The guy was like, that sounds right, but of course, we can't know exactly what they're thinking, but it does seem like the deal is getting close to dying. Overall, this process would take several years, which no merger could survive. When the FTC wins, the transaction collapses. When the FTC loses, it abandons its administrative challenge. To me, it sounds like, for better or for worse, I think Xbox is giving up. There have been some rumors that apparently Activision just hasn't been thrilled with how long this is all taking. A lot of their executives thought that this is something that would take like a year or two tops, and that was at the very longest timelines. And here we are a year and a half into it, and it's still in the beginning process. The rumor is a lot of people at the top wanted to take that $70 billion payday, divide chunks of it up for themselves, take a bonus, and then quit and let Xbox management take over. So now these guys that thought they were going to have to work another 6 months are now going to have to work for the next 5 years to get that big bonus. It sounds like a lot of people at the top of Xbox and at the top of Activision just are not happy with the state of the deal as it currently exists. Personally, I am beginning to believe that the deal is dead. And I mean that with a capital D, dead. But I guess we're going to find out. That's the wishy-washy whims of the court system. You never know. But what do you guys think about this? Do you think it's good? Do you think this deal is bad for gaming? Tell me your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a big old thumbs up, share with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. And please keep dreaming. Right before I filmed this video, my roommate came in here and gave me a churro Kit Kat. Oh, that's pretty good. Hell yeah. Video games. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.